We're bringing you the most satisfying games we could find in our collection, and no, the Trove Chest and Frosthaven are not in this conversation. In fact, they were the things that started this whole thought process.
Absolutely, because we're trying to figure out what, once we were getting ready to put everything into the Trove Chest, and we had spent 5.5 hours building all the stuff that we needed for the Frosthaven campaign, we were like, why don't games already have this option built for us? Why don't they ship this way? Why don't we have something that's a solution that's already there? But we do.
We do. There are a lot of games that don't cross our mind because they don't constantly frustrate us. So let's go ahead and start our top 10 list of the most delicate, the most succulent, the most satisfying games we could find in our collection. The Automaton of Shale. Now, this is our number 10. It gets better from here, I promise, but we do have to give Chip Theory at least a little bit of credit, because this is not only about the on-the-table experience, but also
the play experience. I mean, come on now. It's a beautiful magnetic box that protects this absolutely beautiful game that's literally a pop-up experiential game. And we're not going to spoil too much, but look at this. I mean, come on now.
I mean, people by this point have been able to, like, open up and see most of this. So I want to flip at least a few pages here. I don't know where to go from this. With little envelopes that open, with little pockets and modules that give you in-game effects and abilities and unlocks. Chip Theory knows how to celebrate board games, from their plastic components all the way down to the chips they use and the neoprene mats they create everything with. I have to give a shout out to that company, despite the fact that we are currently going through the process of reboxing and organizing all of Too Many Bones.
And don't forget, there are things that don't exist in the Too Many Bones world.
And why does this stand on its own? Well, because despite their promises that everything from Too Many Bones would fit back inside the Trove Chest,
this one, that doesn't.
Does not. Dwellings of Eldervale, one of the first games to set a standard in the industry for beautiful inserts, coming from Luke Laurie, coming from Breaking Games, coming from Peter Vaughn, who now runs Cardboard Alchemy. You might see him in the future here, but this is a group of people who love the experience of tabling games, but also wanted to facilitate your ability to actually play them. So Wes, as these trays pop out, if you're ready to play, I hand you your character.
Oh, wow.
Open that up. Just get a feeling of how insanely satisfying that is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sorted, organized, ready to
go.
actually like assign to the different locations.
That's ridiculous.
The board perfectly pops into the top of it. We have our giant minis here, which are going to be our creatures, beasts. They came like this, colored with a wash on top of them. They even have electronic bases if you had the deluxe version of this, which I'm not sure if this one is, but we can keep hunting just a bit to see.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to showcase is just the degree to which this game is letting you pull tiles out and begin playing. All of these are made to just pop out of the board, set down right onto the table, and begin the actual gameplay experience. Now, the rest of the stuff in the middle of the table are just going to be a bunch of tiles that are placed out. So by the time you have this opened,
that's awesome.
You're pretty much ready to go.
That's really awesome.
This is a copy that we borrowed from a friend of ours. So Garrett, yes, we need to give you your copy back. Thank you very much. And let's see how these actually work. So this, how does it work?
I think you have to turn it a little bit.
This, where's the on?
That is really cool. That's cool. That's really cool.
All right, I'm not going to waste your battery.
What? I'm such a dork. I love that. That's
We're
amazing.
going to continue going. Well, let's move on to number 8. A game that I actually held on to because of the design and the layout and the customization of it. Empyreal. I have such a hard time saying the title of this game. Yes, it's
something like
but
that.
I want to add a rail to it.
Empyreal?
Spells and Steam. This is coming from Level 99 Games.
Oh,
and
this is satisfying.
This is the full thing that you want to go ahead and start pulling stuff out.
Yep.
This is the full thing that has all of the little expansions, all the modules, all the characters, And once again, designed similar to Dwellings of Eldervale in the sense that it is ready to be played as you pull it out. But not only that, they've also went through the process of showing you exactly how it should store and organize back into the box.
That's
and
really
so
cool.
I really liked this game when I first got to play it. I was super compelled by it. It's this engine building, railway laying, like route building game, but you have these portals where you're transporting from one area to another area.
Very cool.
But it would have been very hard for me to justify holding on to it if it wasn't for the way that it was actually designed and stored inside of here.
Because these are your little character people, is that correct?
These are your little character people. You have all of your little cool. Railroad cars and trains underneath there, and as you're pulling stuff out, you're actually going through all of the different modules. So they actually have you lay tile. It's like a pancake. Tiles and then tablets and then layers and then put your grubby little fingers in there. So other things like this area here, Wes, is not designed for actual storage. This is designed for play. As you start flipping tiles,
so then
you're going to be placing them here, and this becomes the marketplace where you're grabbing from your engine.
Love it.
So not only is this a insert that's customized for storage and getting to the table, it's also designed and thoughtful around play.
And these are set for fat fingers just like me.
I can
get
grab
in
them
there.
all.
I can grab as many as I want.
Do you know how many
Super
small
nice.
insert organizers that are using tiny little tiles?
That's terrible. That is a travesty of justice.
Oh my gosh,
right there.
it's absolutely horrible. So Empyreal, Spells and Steam, again, I could not say that name. This is number 8.
It's a great number 8.
Shall we go on to number 7?
Yes. Let's do it. Oh, it wasn't loud enough. You gotta go on the other side.
You're so bad at transitions. You gotta do it like this. Now, not every game we have here is on the table because they have beautiful inserts that you play them as quickly as possible.
True.
Some of them are about the actual experience of play as well.
Correct. And I believe this one still has both, if you be totally fair.
I mean, they're all going to have a bit of both.
But in Unsettled, you have your different planets that go on top of the storage box, which are modular. So you can actually have, I think there's like 6 different planets right now, but with the new expansion comes out, there'll be even more. So you could just take your 2 favorites and bring them with you. And then underneath, you've got all your different storage trays that are actually the play trays that you'll be using.
And let's just highlight one of the greatest inventions in the board gaming world. Side
Slot
box
boxes.
slits. Oh my gosh. So all
amazing.
these trays are your core systems that pop out onto the table. They all lift up, keeping the tiles underneath them in place where they go. Everything's dual layered. Everything's full punch. These side little modules have plastic inserts that keep the components inside of them organized.
Ready to
and
go.
if you're wondering why 2 of them fit inside the box, it's because Unsettled is a standalone little campaign game. And so, well, not campaign, but it's a standalone little system game, a puzzle game.
Right.
And so if you're going over to a friend's, if you're traveling for a long weekend, you don't need 6 of them with you.
Correct.
You only need about 2 that you haven't played. And one of the things that makes this so insanely satisfying to open up, to play, to experience, is the fact that every time you pop one of these and build it out on the table, it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to figure out the rules, the differences, and setup. But then on top of that, the experience is new. And so you don't open all these at the same time. You open them when you're ready to play, and as you open them, you discover what's inside, and it makes for a really, really, really cool first encounter experience.
Yeah, I think these are amazing. They're probably one of my favorites, but our next one's pretty great too.
All right, Mission Catastrophe. I've already told you about Peter Vaughan, one of the people responsible for Dwellings of Eldervale, one of the people who creates love letters to beautiful games. And I will be honest, he is a friend of ours, so I'm slightly biased.
Yeah.
But I'm biased because I discovered this way back in the day, one of the first titles he and his new company, Cardboard Alchemy, published, and I was head over heels for this. And he has coming up Andromeda's Edge, which is the love letter, the sequel to Dwellings of Eldervale. And in that bigger box, he's going to be able to show off what he's doing here in this smaller box.
Now, this is the game that you constantly tease me about that I would absolutely love and that we should 100% play and that you never want to play with me.
And never want to play with you.
Right, yeah.
So take a look at what it takes for a publisher or for a creator to design something around. I feel satisfaction when I open and start pulling this out. First off, all of the tiles, this is a ship-based game where the ship is falling apart and you're trying your best to scramble to escape. All the tiles are thick, satisfying, dual-layered.
Boxes. Yep.
Same thing here with the heavy cardboard for your character pieces.
Okay.
This little module here, now these aren't technically supposed to be in there, but this pops out and sets down onto the table. Same thing if you're using the little robot expansion that pops in, right? So all of that links down there. A few things are scattered, but we have all of our standees, all of our little minis are brightly colored, along with like a thoughtful process of, what if the guy needs to be jumping? Needs to be leaping, needs to be floating. Instead of making like a standard down to the ground one, they've actually added that module up. Every little bit here is designed to actually store and organize, and as you put it away, other than a few of these little cardboard tokens, which honestly I could have probably organized better myself, nothing has floated away, nothing has scattered across the board. So this is a small box example of what an incredible insert looks like. And yeah, there is a little Game Trays logo insert down there. They do great work. They're probably going to be featured in a lot of these videos. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this back and pop on to the next one. The Infinity Box from Mind Clash Games. We could have chosen from a lot of this publisher's titles.
Yes, they're all absolutely beautiful. I love Perseverance,
Cerebria, Carrion.
They're just all amazing.
A whole arsenal. Now, this one is the one that came to my radar because Anachrony is one of the heavier games.
Yes.
And with all the expansions and all the modules, it's one of those games that can be a bit intimidating to get to the table. And this big box has allowed me to play Anachrony more times than I ever would if it didn't exist.
It does make everything so much easier to play with because all of your different modules are in the different sets and components of this particular box. Everything stores beautifully in here, on top of all the components being way above and beyond what you're supposed to.
Metal flipping resources.
Absolutely beautiful.
Little lanterns or power cores that have clear acrylic through the center of them.
Where are the minis in this one too? Because they're amazing.
They're down here on this bottom level.
And again, same concept. You've got everything built out, so when you're ready to use it, you just take the top off and you flip the next piece down, so it just keeps going down through the piece.
And we're still seeing that same concept with the character inserts and boards as well. If you're playing this blue character here, you're popping out, you've got all your robots, you've got your main character standee. I mean, you're ready to begin playing the game.
Which is the whole point of it.
Yeah.
You want to be able to pull everything out quickly and get it done and get it to the table. That's what makes all of this worth it.
When a box doesn't leave scattered resources in the actual compartment, and I can pull it out and actually put it back in the box in a video like this in a matter of seconds.
That's huge.
It's so good.
Speaking of huge.
Yeah? Oh, this game, I should not have tilted it sideways.
No, you definitely
shouldn't. I heard things falling, holy cow.
Yeah, this one does have to be stored flat. That's less good.
It doesn't make it any less satisfying because I was an idiot there. This game does need to be stored flat, like most of the games in this system. But what is so cool about this is this pops out into the center, and you're immediately playing the game. That's it.
That's so nice.
That's the entire system.
I mean, it's a lazy Susan, so everybody can get to what they need.
This is a tile laying game where you're going to be taking any one of various different planets. And by the way, there are so many planets to choose from. And the artwork's beautiful, which already makes it satisfying.
Yep.
This cardboard, this feels good. It's nice and sturdy. But you're going to be taking one of these planets. You're going to be taking one of your various different ship modules, which are all dual layered, and are front and back
double-sided.
as well.
Wow, that's cool.
Isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
And you're going to be taking these tiles and you're going to be maneuvering them down onto the planets. The reason why the Lazy Susan matters is because depending on where you're seated, you will get assigned the tile that's directed towards you. Oh. So if I spin this and I take this tile, then whoever's sitting over here takes that one. Same thing as they spin. I can take this, they can take that. You can a lot of hate drafting, a lot of strategic play, really cool modules and systems. But if this doesn't get set up and ready to play in 30 seconds,
I don't know what you're doing.
It's one of those games that just won't leave my collection because if I need something that I don't feel like takes energy to get to the table, Planet Unknown is one of those. Glorious game, so much fun. If you love Polyomino games and you have not gotten or checked this out yet, you're missing out. Something fierce. But we still have another one. Let's talk a little bit about deluxeified components in Wondersland. The wonders of the lands
of the wars,
and that glorious cleavage.
Yeah, this is a glorious box cleavage. Absolutely fabulous concept. You've got your Wonderland War actual pieces here, which I think is probably one of the better parts done. There we go, the magnetic box. So you have all the different pieces set out, all these nice little heavy chips, clay chip concepts. Such an easy, nice, simple solution already stored, ready to go. You've got all your different characters, all the different Wonderlandians there to go along with everything. And the setup on this game is ridiculously quick. All you do is just shuffle your cards, place them down, and go.
And they're all organized underneath here as well.
Absolutely.
Except that one floating gem.
And of course, there's flamingos. So clearly this is a very well-created game.
Look at that, West. Tell me that
beautiful.
Doesn't rival your jimmies.
Rival my jimmies.
Cricket your wimmies.
Rival my jimmies. Yes, definitely rivaling some jimmies here.
So this is an area control game.
Yeah, area control game where you're actually battling to control different sections of the actual Wonderland area. You're using your player pieces to gain advantage on everyone else. There are battle sites. You're doing the T table across the center, being able to go forwards and backwards and get the different cards.
Yeah, so
score the victory points and use the Wonderlandians.
Not only because it stores, opens, and comes out very easy, but also the sheer, insane, glorious production quality on this make it one to talk about. We just opened up Final Girl, and I'm the person that had, for a better part of a year and a half, the floating modules.
Yes.
Which I kept, which I loved, which I appreciated, but when they said they were releasing a Season 1 storage box that looks like a cassette tape and allows you to, like, store the playmats inside of it.
I mean, come on, guys. Really, there's no better solution than this. You've got your VCR here. It sets beautifully. And the cool thing is that you can actually set it like this on your shelf. You can put the top on it and have that look absolutely beautiful. And you can still store it this way and it's completely fine. However you want to set it in your Calyx is what makes it the best part.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic storage solution. In addition to having your mats, and then you can pull out each individual component in and of itself so that you can hop into the game very, very quickly.
But that's not all, because I think Final Girl has some of the most useful neoprene mats in the entire industry. These are mats that, even when they're floating around, not in a storage container, I was not frustrated with. These mats are designed to organize your solo play experience, and every single one of these modules has a system that I think is mind-blowing.
Yes, because the actual box itself is part of the game.
Yeah, these parts pop off. They're going to be the location that you're showing off or you're fighting against the villain, and they're going to be the villain that you're actually fighting against. And every single one of these modules self-contains the cards for whatever scenario you have.
Right.
Helps you mix and match these scenarios as easily as possible instead of just like a trove of things stored in the same big crate. This allows it all to be stored individually, to be stored without having to come up with your own system to like de-escalating or de-organizing or figuring out what cards should and shouldn't be different areas.
And one of the major things that I always find difficult when you've got multiple different options for characters, for bosses, for locations, is that you get overwhelmed with that scenario and overwhelmed with the situation. Here, it's so easy because you can literally just grab one and put it on, grab one, move on to the next one. Whereas sometimes using that trove box is a little overwhelming for me.
Yeah, I mean,
not gonna lie.
Tell me that's not satisfying, and I'll show you a mirror, and then I'll show you an idiot. The most satisfying game on our list has to be Foundations of Rome, coming from Arcane Wonders, because...
I mean, come on, guys. Really? Really?
Like, I'm sorry. This is beautifully designed. Every single piece of architecture is unique. This is a game that, based off of the profit margin, based off of what it should cost to produce, based off of the shipping crisis that just happened, should not exist.
No.
And I'm not the only one saying that. Every publisher I've talked with privately behind the scenes in the industry, when this first showed up, like pulled me off to the side and was like, hey, yeah, Foundations of Rome, no, legitimately should not exist.
It's incredible.
Holy cow. Talk about a company caring about the community and the production and the impact that they'll have on just their brand to create something truly unique and truly special. This is a polyomino-based game, and I know it doesn't look like that when we're just showing you this, but each one of these colored boards is an individual player board. All of these individual player boards, I need to go through and attach the little elements to the top of them. I've played Board Game Co.'s copy, like,
that's totally
way
fair.
more than I've never actually sat down and played my own.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to play games with you.
Right.
But each one of these sets are going to be your personal player colors and player characters, and they go down and build out this central area. And so it's this competitive interactive polyomino game.
wait, this literally covered one whole thing.
Yeah.
And you just lift it up and that's insane.
And it pops down.
Everything is completely contained. That's incredible.
So West, one of the things that you'll like about this, if I can pull this out, so this is going to be the main map. Now, you're not a big Polyomino fan.
I'm not normally a big Polyomino fan.
However, this is a Polyomino game where you're building the Polyomino city together on the map. So you're going to be placing down and stealing locations from people. You're going to be drafting the different areas so you can try to hate draft from people that want to build out their city.
That sounds
and what
fun.
you're trying to do is you're trying to generate revenue, you're trying to generate population or citizens, you're trying to actually generate knowledge or money as well. And so you have these 4 or 3 competing aspects to the game. You're going to be building out this city, competing with other people, getting benefits or rewards based off of what other people have built adjacent to you, and also at times destroying your own buildings to take those awards away from other people that are sitting around the table. It does not have to be all spiteful. It does not have to be all hateful. But this is
why not?
An amazing Polyomino game. But let me be very clear. It is because of this production value that this is a game that will not leave my collection and will not be forgotten. Easy and accessible to play. Fun and cutthroat and thinky and strategic. And also, I don't know when we're going to find another game that is just this beautiful and this nice and this accessible to get to the table. Sure, I love watching Simon ship out box upon box of minis.
Absolutely.
I get such a thrill. We talked about Marvel United. Such a thrill from having all of my boxes splayed out across the bottom of my shelf.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Guess what it isn't? It's not overly and incredibly designed to be a gameplay experience.
Yes.
It's designed to be minis. It's designed to be like storage. It's designed to be just ethereal. But this is designed to be like a gamer's paradise.
Used, played, be part of your world, get it out and get in and to enjoy it.
It's so cool. So, Foundations of Rome, that's our number 1 most satisfying, the best unboxing, the best straight-to-table play experience we could find. Let us know what we missed, because I am sure...
Oh, I'm sure there
is an arsenal of other incredible games. None of them better than this, but
out there.
Some that you probably like as well. Whatever the case, whatever you do, though...
Don't forget to do the important things.
Get out and play some games, especially ones that make an argument that you should be playing them. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.